Daniel Kahn and welcome to the first Link Sports Show. We'll be bringing you the latest sports news around Lincoln and we'll also be discussing the biggest stories around the country. On tonight's show, we'll be previewing Lincoln City's game against Braintree Town on Saturday, and we'll also have reaction from Ashby Avenue where Lincoln United beat Sheffield FC. And finally, our pundits will be talking England and if Gareth Southgate is the answer. Just over 2 weeks ago, Lincoln City sat top of the National League table, but after Saturday's defeat to Dover, City have dropped into 6th place, outside the playoff places. Imps boss Danny Cowley says he will have to put past relationships on hold as he faces his former club.
Well, we were 2 weeks ago today, we're sitting top of this division and probably we're not as good as people said we were then, and probably we're not as bad as people are saying we are now. So we try to keep more of a perspective on it. Certainly, you know, it's easy for people to make scapegoats, but we try to look at the bigger picture and collectively as a group our performances haven't been as good as they were. There's a multitude of reasons for that and we've looked closely at them all, and for us we're a group that's work in progress, and unfortunately as a result of that we're still trying to find the formula and the ingredients so that we can have sustainable success. We're getting closer. We've learned a lot about ourselves. It's been painful in the last couple of weeks. I say a week's a long time in football. Well, 2 weeks can feel like an eternity when you haven't won. But this is what it is. You know, we know what the journey is. Success doesn't always happen in a straight line, and you know, there's sometimes bumps on the journey. You have to try to ride those bumps, and that's what we're doing. We've worked very hard again this week, and we're expecting a response from us on Saturday.
James, Braintree Town on Saturday for the Imps. They're 22nd in the National League. Quite a winnable game for Lincoln City. What are your impressions for Saturday?
You'd think so. The Imps are going to be challenging for promotion in the playoffs this season. It's a game they have to win, especially after they haven't won for their last 3 matches now. Poor defeat to Dover last week by all accounts. I don't think what I've heard, they haven't really turned up. But they've performed really well up until the last 3 matches. So they can go back to that winning formula, as Danny Cowley was saying in his press conference today, and they should run out comfortable winners.
It's interesting, James, you mentioned the winning formula. You know, they brought in Tom Champion into that midfield before Solihull Moors, and since then they haven't won a game. So talking about that winning formula, do you think he should go back to that team that got them on a 6-match unbeaten run, or do you think they persist with Champion?
I think it's unfair to say Champion is just the reason that's happened. I don't think it was a good idea to change a winning formula. Champion was brought in by Danny Cowley, and if he was brought in, Cowley obviously wanted to use him. I just think that maybe go back to the formula that saw them win so many games. They had so much confidence. It might be the right idea for now, but you've got to give Champion a chance, more than just 3 games. Cowley obviously thinks he's the player that will fit into that midfield, so give him time to prove it.
Ollie, it was really interesting today, being at Danny Cowley's press conference this afternoon. He was saying how Theo Robinson, former Premier League player playing for Derby all those years ago, almost had a contract at Southend. What do you think? Do you think he would add anything to the Imps?
I think he could well do. He was playing for Port Vale in League One last year. From what we've heard, he's a very quick striker. Capped by his national side, Jamaica, as well.
But we'll just have to see if Danny Cowley does take a chance on Robinson in the next few days. The Imps take on Braintree at Sincil Bank this Saturday on a 3 p.m. kickoff. Moving on to Lincoln United, who faced Sheffield FC on Tuesday evening. The Whites won 2-1, and the win moved them up to 10th in the EvoStick First Division South. And after the game, Ollie spoke to Whites boss Sam Wilkinson.
First half, you know, disappointing to go 1-0 down. But second half, we dominated the whole 45 minutes, to be fair.
What do you think of Jack McGovern's performance today? 2 good goals.
Yeah, outstanding. He's in a rich vein of form, to be fair, and you know he doesn't normally miss chances. Obviously, the first free kick was a good strike, and then the second one, you know, good finish. Good all-round performance from Jack, to be fair, not just his goals.
Callum Smith looked good down the left again.
Yeah, Callum. I thought Callum and Cox was a constant threat. Obviously, Cox for the penalty the skill was different class. Callum is a constant threat, and he keeps going. And he's, you know, the defenders know they're in for a game when it's Callum.
Yeah. Looking forward to the FA Cup on Saturday.
Yes, it's a big game. You know, really big game. We're 2 games away from first round proper, and that's what we all want to be in. You know, we could be 1 game away from a real big tie with the conference team. So we've got to make sure we start the game better than what we have done the last two, and if we do, we should hopefully get the win.
So Ollie, you were at Ashby Avenue this week. What's kind of your reaction to how the Whites have been playing?
Unfortunately, they went 1-0 down at the end of the first half. Matt Cotton conceded a penalty, which was converted. But luckily for the Whites, they picked their game up in the second half, created a lot more chances, and Jack McGovern scored a fantastic free kick from the edge of the box. And Callum Smith produced a brilliant run just a few minutes later to cross for McGovern, and he headed home.
James, Callum Smith, what have you made of him this season?
He's been fantastic so far this season, hasn't he? On that left wing, I think he's been brilliant. Better than what he was last season. He was played at left back last season. Dave Frecklington played him at left back, which he was good in that position. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was very good in that position. But on the wing, he brings so much more to the team. And as we've seen, scored the winner on Saturday, set up this winning goal on Tuesday. I think his correct position is to be played on the wing.
Ollie, big FA Cup tie on Saturday?
Get the win, and in the fourth round, obviously, of the qualifiers, the conference sides come in. So how fantastic would it be if we could see Lincoln United versus Lincoln City potentially?
James?
I also think Sam Wilkinson does deserve a lot of credit for the job he's done. They had that tricky start where there were 4 matches without a win, and then since then they've turned it around. That's 5-5 now. They go into that FA Cup match with so much confidence, and I think Sam Wilkinson does deserve a lot of credit for turning things around.
Well, let's hope they can make it 6-6, and it would be fantastic if they did play Lincoln City in the next round, possibly.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
From Sincil Bank to Wembley, it's the biggest news of the week. Big Sam is no longer England manager after he resigned following an investigation by the Daily Telegraph. We asked IMS boss Danny Cowley what he thought on the matter.
Just disappointed that they choose to try to take money out of the game that they love. We all got involved in football as young people because we love the game, and sometimes somewhere along the line people forget about that. It becomes people's profession, and then I think that they forget about the reasons they got involved in it. And ultimately, if what's been accused is true, and by the looks of the investigation, and it looks like it is. It's disappointing because they're taking money out of the game, and that money could be going to grassroots, to children, to giving them opportunities, to give them better pitches, better changing facilities, whatever it might be. But, when you consider, that these people at the top of the game are taking pretty good livings out of it, they're not on the breadline. They're taking pretty good money out of it, and yet there's thousands and thousands of people in this country that are volunteers, that are involved in football and do it for absolutely nothing. And give so much to the game. It's not great, is it? It's not great. So no, I think my overriding emotion would be one of disappointment, really. Sam Allardyce is someone who's obviously worked very, very hard to get in the position that he did, and it's not been easy for him. His managerial career, he's had a lot of tough jobs that he's made good. So no, he's certainly gone down in my estimations.
So James, what do you make of, say, Danny Cowley's reaction to the England national team and Sam Allardyce's departure this week?
Sam Allardyce has come in after England's disappointing Euros. He won his first game in charge against Slovakia. It wasn't a great performance and people weren't necessarily impressed. But I, for one, and I think many others, thought he was the man that could lead England further in big tournaments. Obviously now we'll never know, but it's so disappointing that this situation has happened.
Definitely. And Ollie, I'll come to you with this. Gareth Southgate, under-21 manager of England, now he's in charge for the next 4 games. What do you make of that?
4 games, the 4 teams that we're going to be playing against aren't much. I mean, I could be the manager for those games, I'm not going to lie. And so it's not really going to show a true test of his sort of managerial prowess, as it were, over those 4 games. And however, I think that if he does win all 4 games, the FA are very likely to offer him the job. I don't think that should be the case, but I do think they will offer him.
Who would be your pick?
I think Arsene Wenger would be better in that role, to be
Why?
honest. Well, Eddie Howe's got this Bournemouth side playing some very good football at the moment, and I think he needs time to develop his career. I think the England job needs an older head. Eddie Howe goes in and fails. He could really, really struggle to get his career back on track. With Arsene Wenger, he's got nothing to lose. His Arsenal contract ends at the end of this season, so he could go into the England job, nothing to lose. If it doesn't go right, Arsene Wenger's not going to be too bothered. His career, is on the way out for. So I'm not really sure who the right man is, but I would wait for Arsene Wenger to see out his contract at Arsenal.
Well, it looks like we'll be waiting quite a while to find out who the permanent manager will be for the England national team. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for. I just want to say thank you for James and Ollie for joining me. We'll be back next Thursday with coverage from the Cathedral Cup and the latest sports news from around Lincoln. Goodbye.